Then I will ask everybody to turn off their microphones. Most have done that. Otherwise, I will do it later for you. Camera, you decide yourself if you want to have it on or off. And if you have any questions to today's speakers, please write your questions in the chat. Then we will make sure to follow up either live here or later on. If there's something that we misses out or we cannot answer here live, then we will follow up on that afterwards. My name is Soren. I'm the director of the Danish Wind Export Association, and together with the Royal Danish Consulate General in Istanbul, we have arranged this seminar today, and I would like here to welcome first Annette Galschütt, the Consul General from Istanbul. Annette, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Soren, and good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar on sourcing opportunities in the wind sector from Turkey. During the last 10 years, especially the region of İzmir has developed what I think we can call a wind hub of excellence in respect of excuse me, manufacturing equipment to the wind sector. And as you all know, of course, Denmark for the last many years have been one of the world's leading producers of wind turbines, but also equipment to the wind industry. And we're very happy to today maybe put together these two regions in an attempt for further cooperation going forward. I think the last year with COVID-19 and the pandemic has, among others, put a focus on the very big importance of a resilient supply chain. I think many of you have probably experienced dependency on the Far East, and that's been very challenged. And choosing Turkey as a nearshoring hub for production has now become even more relevant, and also Turkey as a country has become more competitive during the last years. So we believe there's a huge opportunity actually to look at Turkey as an alternative or a complementary sourcing country, as you can actually get to all European destinations within 2 or 3 days, trucking goods from Turkey and not dependent on sea traffic. So with this, I do hope that you will all benefit greatly from today's webinar, that we will hear some interesting perspectives on the opportunities here in Turkey, and hopefully also a lot of good questions from the side of the audience. So thank you very much, and I wish you a very fruitful webinar. Over to you, Soren. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you for that introduction. Next on the scene, I would like to introduce Seda Billion, who has actually put together today's program and will take you through the program and be your host for the rest of this session. Seda, the floor is yours. You have to turn on your microphone.
Of course, this is the mostly used sentences in the webinars, which is not rocket science, but all the time that happens. Hi all, welcome to our webinar on outsourcing opportunities in the Turkish market with a focus on the wind energy. I'm Seda Kayrak-Bilgen, working at the Trade Council of Denmark in Istanbul, part of the Royal Danish Consulate General, and for the last 12 years, wind energy is one of the sectors that, as the consulate, we focus a lot and we develop business between Turkey and Denmark. And we see a lot of opportunities in the Turkish wind energy sector after COVID-19 in the conjecture of securing sustainable supply chains with a focus on the wind energy. and there is a lot of story to tell behind. But I want to give the floor to very distinguished speakers today that after, I think, today's webinar, you can learn a lot of the opportunities as well as the challenges in the sourcing, with a special focus on the sourcing. Having said that, I want to give the floor to Tuna Güven, who is one of the maybe most knowledgeable persons in the wind energy sector in Turkey. He is representing both the investment side, that he is the Deputy General Manager of Operations at Borusan EnBW, one of the biggest wind investors in Turkey. So I think Tuna Bey lived it all, both from the investment point of view, but also he is representing the Turkish Wind Industry Association, TÜREB, as the General Secretary of it. So Tuna Bey, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Seda Hanım.
And just, I just want to add that we are open to questions. So if you have any questions, please use the chat box to write your questions, and then we will just direct that afterwards. Sorry, Tuna Bey, the floor is yours.
No problem. That question part is very important, because that if we take that questions as we go along, I mean, that's going to be better for me and for you as well. That was a great introduction. Thank you for that. We are all here, even though with a teleconferencing system. And what I believe that we are coming over to some days, I'm telling in brackets, we are going to back to old days. But what I believe that teleconferencing issue is going to stay in all our lives, because that is very easy, very quick and dirty. So I'm going to share my presentation right now in order to make you better understand the Turkish wind industry. The problematic part is that while I'm making presentation, I couldn't see myself, so that whenever you have a question, please, Seda Hanım, stop me. We are going to have a substantial amount of time after my session, because that I'm going to try to finish in 5 or 7 minutes. Yes, the Turkish Wind Energy Association, even though we say association, it's a union. And there is a high representation of the Turkish wind energy sector. In our board, representatives of the Ministry of Energy, also Presidency of Republic of Turkey Investment Office, so that Turkish Wind Energy Association brings together the public institutions, authority, and the wind industry, I should say. Also, we are the member of Wind Europe and Global Wind Energy Council as well. And also we are presenting Turkish Wind Energy Association in that bodies as well. Last year, Turkey is closed 2020, even though that COVID situation very well. I should say Turkish wind energy industry is very resilient to such shocks, because numbers shows that the installed power as of April, it's 9,800 plus, and we are going to see in June or latest in July the 10,000 megawatts in Turkey. So there are right now 3,500, nearly 600 running turbines in Turkey nowadays. The capacity factor in installed wind plants in Turkey is around 34% in 2020. And comparison, if we compare it with European Union average, we can see that this is at least 9 points more than the Europe average. And the target in Turkey is install every year 1 gigawatt. This is the target. So the pipeline is being defined according to that target. According to last calculations, the potential, onshore potential, is around 100 gigawatts in Turkey. I would like to show you the Turkey's ranking. Yes, Turkey's ranking is 6th among the European countries, and it shows also proves the strong and resilient in the face of COVID-19 crisis in Turkey. As I told before, the installed power is more than 9.3 gigawatts in Turkey right now. But the message of me is that, as you can see, in last 5 years, the Turkey installed around 1,000 megawatt per year. This is a substantial amount of investment. So it shows the power of the domestic demand in Turkey. Also, there is a remarkable amount of offshore potential in Turkey. According to the calculations, 75 gigawatts offshore potential right now is waiting to be delivered in Turkey. And you know that in 2018, there was a tender for offshore, which received no bids. And we know that there is going to be a new tender in coming years, especially for the offshore. When I come back to Turkish Wind Energy Association, there is an inventory study which has been prepared by Turkish Wind Energy Association by the support of İzmir Development Agency. In that inventory study, people can find lots of details about the wind industry in Turkey, from the sourcing perspective, from some other perspectives. Right now, we are waiting for the appointment of the Minister of Industry. The launch will be done in his presence, so that coming days we will see that inventory in online platforms. In that inventory, there are lots of valuable information. There's going to be lots of valuable information, and we are going to see the details of 77 small, medium, large scale manufacturers in that study. And the distribution of that companies can be seen in that study. And most of them also at the very beginning indicated located in İzmir, because İzmir is a hub, İzmir is a center of wind. What I should say that Turkey, besides of that domestic demand, is a candidate of a export hub. So right now, all that companies in Turkey are exporting to 44 countries in 6 continents. So what we know is that it's going to progress more and more in coming years. Once we look at the capabilities of domestic manufacturing in Turkey, I don't want to count and get in detail in here. I believe that Seda is going to share with this presentation to the participants afterwards. From blade to the gearbox, from generator to the fasteners, there are lots of domestic manufacturing capability in Turkey as listed here. And all that companies are the members of Turkish Wind Energy Association. And before I come to the end of my presentation, I should say about the feed-in tariff mechanism, because the existing feed-in tariff mechanism is going to expire very soon, even though it's extended to the 30th of this June. And there is a new feed-in tariff mechanism in Turkey. And what I should say is that the wind energy will be among supported sectors in Turkey for another 10 years. You can see the details of the mechanism of that feed-in tariff. Even though it's lower than the existing one, still the wind industry is going to be supported by that feed-in tariff coming 10 years. And as Turkish Wind Energy Association, we launched 3 working groups which aims to come together all that professionals together to talk on, to improve ideas on the policy, some technical perspectives, and some other points on offshore, hybrid, and industry. So that by following our websites and LinkedIn links, you are going to see that announcements regarding that working groups, and also you can join that working groups. So this is very new thing. As a last, which is very important, online webinar, let's say, online panel, which is going to be held on 28th of July, and Global Outlook to Turkish Supply Chain. And I would like to invite you all to that webinar to learn more about that Turkish supply chain. There is going to be very valuable speakers as well in there, and then you are going to have a chance to ask your questions to the speakers and the to authority as well. Yes, thanks for listening to me. And I'm going to stop my presentations. If you have any questions, that's very important for me to answer them. Also, we can answer afterwards as well.
Thank you very much, Tuna Bey. I can't see any questions in the chat box right now.
Nope.
But we have a Q&A at the end, so I'm sure there will be some questions. And I again want to emphasize Tuna Bey's dual hat, that with an experience in the both sides, both in the association part, but as an investment point of too. So Tuna Bey touched upon the new setup of the Turkish Wind Industry Association, and also you also mentioned about the offshore. So I also want to just mention that Turkey and Denmark, the Danish Energy Agency and the Turkish Ministry of Energy has a strategic sector cooperation on the offshore wind energy sector that started in 2019 and will continue till 2022. That right now Danish authorities and Turkish authorities are working on how to develop the offshore wind energy market in the best planned way. I just wanted to mention that. And now we have Sencer Bey in our agenda, who is a wind expert at the İzmir Development Agency that we cooperated a lot throughout the years with the Danish companies, and delegations to Denmark and to Turkey. So he also knows about Denmark and Danish companies well, and also İzmir and the neighborhood. Sencer Bey, the floor is yours to talk about İzmir, the wind capital of Turkey. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's a great pleasure to be with you, and it's a great honor to present and share information about my country and also the city of İzmir. Actually, I would like to share a presentation, and I would like to give some information about generally focusing on the industry side of the sector. Let me share it. Yeah. I hope you can see the presentation. My name is Sencer Özen. I'm working in İzmir Development Agency as investment promotion and support expert. Actually, before start my presentation, I'd like to give some information about our organizational structure and who we are and what we do in general. Normally, development agencies have some functions in Turkey, like preparing regional development plans, strategies, providing some financial support to SMEs and non-governmental organizations also, and promoting the city in terms of attracting foreign direct investments or local investments from other cities to İzmir, and also giving consultancy to the companies who is willing to invest in İzmir. In that case, as Invest in İzmir office, we are giving those consultancy services to companies as a governmental service, as free. So we are helping them to create network in İzmir region, and also we are supporting them to preparing feasibility studies for their investment projects, and also organizing some site selection visits, and helping them to facilitate legal procedures in legal way, actually. So in the next years and the next couple of months, as you know, if you are willing to invest and interesting to invest in this region, we are always here to support you and serve you. Actually, in that point, I would like to give about some brief information about the economical and the trade situation and the circumstances in Turkey. Actually, it's possible to reach a huge amount of markets from İzmir. We are the member of Custom Union with EU, and we have some trade agreement, free trade agreements with 27 countries around the world. So it's possible to reach those countries and sell the goods without paying any custom taxes. So it's a good opportunity for the manufacturing companies and the exporters companies who is willing to operate and manage the activities in a region and as a hub in that way. So as you see, these are some global companies who is operating their facilities and manufacturing the products and distributing from Turkey to all over the world. In that case, İzmir is coming forward because of the structure of the economy. İzmir is a trade city and the hub of trade generally. İzmir is one of the most developed cities in Turkey, the third biggest city also. And as you see, offers some good eco-friendly environments and investment environments and the climate for the companies. So as you see, we have some developed ports and also wind energy equipment manufacturers using those ports. For example, Alsancak ports and Aliağa ports used by blade manufacturers and also some component manufacturers. And as you see, in İzmir, there are some organized industrial zones. Actually, the total number is 13. And generally, the northern side focused on energy business, especially wind energy business. And I'd like to give this critical information to the companies. We have 2 free trade zones. Actually, the zones host 3 blade manufacturing factory also, Enercon, and also TPI have their facilities in these regions. So they are producing the blades and selling all over the world without paying taxes from those zones. So these zones are international zones and exempt from many taxes and duties in Turkey. And also we have 4 technology development zones. The companies, local companies or foreign companies, who is doing their R&D activities and business, they are handling these issues in those zones. And also the software companies and design companies located in those regions. So it's possible to operate these services in those regions without paying some taxes according to the business. And also when we check the foreign direct investments flow to İzmir, as you see from 2000s, from today, actually, it's increasing dramatically. And as you see, now the total number reached around 2,500 company. And as you see, these are the global companies located in İzmir. The second column, actually, as you see, Siemens Gamesa, TPI, Elan Wind Power, Enercon, CS Wind, and JSP from all over the world, the wind energy equipment manufacturers located in İzmir, and there are more also. Actually, when we look at in detail in the supply chain issue, normally, actually, as Tuna Bey mentioned, we have grid potential, wind potential, and when we check the distribution of the installed power, now İzmir has 1.7, 1.8 gigawatt installed power. With this installed power, ranked first in Turkey, and as you see, this the 20% of the total installed power located in İzmir region. And most ways, İzmir is the pioneer city in this business. So that we are calling İzmir the wind capital of Turkey. We have more potential and we have more investment opportunities in that way. So generally, the expected, the calculated theoretical capacity is around 12 gigawatts, but we are using only 1.8 gigawatt. So we have quite a way to go. So the companies can make more investments in this area. As you see, the red areas is the high density, the wind density areas. And when we zoom in at the Aegean region, as you see, lots of wind power plants located in İzmir region, and generally the seaside and the northern side and the periphery of İzmir is focusing on this energy business. Thanks to this, actually, this focusing issue brings some manufacturing and service business with it. And as you see, the Balıkesir, Çanakkale, Manisa, these cities are neighbor cities of İzmir. So it's possible to manage the business from İzmir and managing all these issues, service issues and manufacturing issues in Aegean region from İzmir, actually. And according to Wind Europe study, there are 12 main component manufacturing facility in Turkey, and thanks to this, Turkey ranked 6th in Europe. When we're focusing on 12th facility, actually the only blade manufacturing facilities and the factories in Turkey located in İzmir. The total amount of the factories are 4. And also we have two tower manufacturing factory. So almost half of it, maybe more than half of it, the number of 12 located in İzmir. When we check the distribution of the activities in Europe, as you see, the Aegean side and the İzmir region is focusing on this issue and comes forward with the facilities and the activities located in İzmir. And when we zoom it more, you can see the blade manufacturing companies as blue points and tower manufacturers as purple, and generator manufacturers, some other component manufacturers distributed all over the İzmir. So the business is spread out, and as you see, we can produce lots of components in İzmir. Also, we have some steel manufacturers and some other composite equipment manufacturers in the region. As you see, there are lots of companies, so it's an opportunity for new companies who is willing to invest and who is willing to operate the outsourcing activities in İzmir, because these companies sometimes selling their goods directly OEM companies and sometimes directly selling to organizer and supply chain manager companies like XGen. Actually, probably Iskender Bey will give some examples how the business is going on and on their side. Actually, as I mentioned, installation, operation and maintenance business also comes forward in the region. As you see, there are some companies who is giving those services, and also consultants and soft services companies located in İzmir. Those companies supporting the energy business and the manufacturing business also. So these are the general structure of the region, and I would like to give lastly one critical information. There is an instrument for the companies who wants to open factory or business in Turkey. We have incentive mechanism. It works regionally, and it's somehow complicated, but we are giving advisory service and helping the companies which incentive system they are involving and how can do the application process. In that system, generally wind energy equipment manufacturers prioritized in terms of investment incentives. As you see, there are some corporate tax reductions, VAT, custom duty exemptions, and social security premium support for the companies. Actually, when they buy the equipment for their production line, they are not giving VAT taxes, custom taxes, and according to their amount of investment, they can benefit some corporate tax reduction according to their total investment amount. And also some the components included the medium high-tech production incentive, and also they can have these incentives in different percentages. So it's a great opportunity. Most of the manufacturing companies are benefiting in Turkey, and the LM, TPI, Enercon, and the rest steel manufacturing companies, almost all of it using these mechanisms so that they can make more investment in that way. So generally the investment opportunities is like this. Of course, there are more. I can give more information maybe after the meeting or the later actually meetings. So in this point, I would like to give the floor Mr. İskender. They are making business in the region in terms of supply chain management, outsourcing management. So would it be possible to give some information how you do the business and what's your experience? Can you share? Thank you very much for listening me.
Yeah, of course, Sencer Bey. Thank you so much for your presentation. I would like to start with XGen Energy first, but before that, this is İskender Köke. I am the managing partner of XGen Energy, and I would like to thank you both İzmir Development Agency and my Danish team to give us such a great chance to express ourselves and our business model to our Danish colleague. Due to the have very limited time, let me jump in the presentation and start with the XGen Energy and explain how we do business in İzmir. Okay, let's jump in. All right. As an XGen Energy, we are in the market since 2010, and mainly we are the local component supplier for the OEMs and main equipment manufacturers such as Enercon, GE, or LM Wind Power, or Aero, CS Wind, or Ateş Wind Power. Just I would like to say that we are the approved supplier of turbine manufacturer as XGen. So as you know, it takes some procedures, and I will explain how we do it. Before that, I would like to show you what we manufacture in İzmir. We manufacture the tower internals, for example, for the turbine manufacturers, or only the tower manufacturers, like CS Wind, located in İzmir also. Also, we do some transport frames, very heavy frames for Enercon, and also the General Electric. Most of these products are exported to the European countries, and we manufacture all of them in İzmir also. But the interesting point will be probably our business model, because as an XGen Energy, even if we are an approved supplier for these international turbine brands, we also use our sub-suppliers in İzmir. So we know basically what the turbine manufacturers or main equipment suppliers need. The required quality and competitiveness is the most important topic for our turbine manufacturers, because as you know, wind business is a kind of business requires very high quality production all over the world, and we can supply it. But also the competitiveness is the important point. Thank you for the location and advantage of İzmir, that we can we can set up our own supply chain here. Right now, we work with more than 40 sub-suppliers, and we create a business for more than 400 people at the sub-suppliers. And also, as you see on the screen, we work with small companies, SMEs, but each of them has very professional companies. On the other hand, they have some obstacles to reach these turbine manufacturers. So as an XGen team, we use their power and add value in terms of quality and competitiveness and organization to meet the requirements of our clients. So how we do this? We use the power of İzmir also. As also Tuna Bey said, in Turkey we have more than 15,000 people works in industry, and only in İzmir we know that more than 7,000 employment located in İzmir. It means roughly that each one of 300 people, working people in the city, works for the wind industry. So the most of them also, most of the power comes from the SMEs. When you look at the numbers of the SMEs in Turkey, you will see that 99% of the company classification is SME in Turkey, and also the most of the value and employment created by these companies. So in our business model, we hire and we use sub-suppliers of İzmir-based companies mostly to use the advantage of hub of the İzmir, because as also the Sencer Bey mentioned before, most of the turbine manufacturers has their own investments in our city to use İzmir as a hub. And use the high capability manufacturing capability of the SMEs in the city. Also, these SMEs or such a companies like us are qualified and special, our qualification system is more focused on the wind industry requirements. Like I showed you before, right now we are completely want to implement our old process, like what APQP for wind standardization suggests us. So as you already know, APQP for wind is the highest market standard for the wind industry, and we can easily adapt it to our workflows, and also we push this kind of standardization to our sub-suppliers to increase also to their quality. And it means that in case of you, my Danish colleagues, wants to invest in Turkey, Izmir is the best place for investment to have no issue to create your own supplying chain.
İskender Bey, may I ask you to wrap up, please?
Yes, I'm just finishing. Honestly, this is the last presentation, and also my colleagues already said that the logistic advantages, I don't want to get in deeply. The most important point also, if you invest in İzmir, you can easily feel that the support of Ministry of Industry and Technology by the İzmir Development Agency. And the last word is, everybody knows that İzmir is the best place for not only the business, also for living in Turkey. So if you come to the İzmir, you will see that you will have the happiest employee, and you will talk with the happiest people in Turkey. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, İskender Bey. Thank you so much, Sencer Bey. Personally, I'm also a big fan of İzmir and the neighborhood, definitely. But so far, I think we have talked about incentive schemes and market size in Turkey and laws and regulations, using Turkey as a regional hub and skilled labor force competitiveness standards. But, you know, there's always a but, and there's always a bigger story behind before deciding about which country to enter, before opening up a production facility. And now I would like to open the panel discussion on where we will hear about the bigger story behind from two companies with operating in different fields and different sizes, with very important stories to tell, according to me. So having said that, I think we all know Elan Wind Power, which is one of the biggest wind energy investors in Turkey right now, over 800 people employment. And we still see them very much Danish, although acquired by GE for sure. So I want to give the floor to Emre Bey, the plant manager of Elan Wind in the İzmir area. So Emre Bey, please just walk through us about your establishment in Turkey. Okay. With a focus on the big story, please, because we know that it wasn't an easy process establishing in Turkey for Elan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm very pleased to share this success story. I call it a success story as a Danish company, which joined the market in 2016 and start of production 2017. Before we jump up our plant, I would like to share the overall information about Elan Wind Power. And most of you are aware, but I will link our market to our presentation. Please let me know if you see my screen.
We see it.
Okay, good, perfect. Elan Wind Power is, one of the biggest, largest manufacturer of the blades. Our capability is not just manufacturing. We have also capability for design, technology, and service. This is the main highlight from my company. And for example, we are working to open a service in Turkey, in Turkish region. which shows that we will have continuous investment in Turkish plant and Turkish market for the wind energy. If you look at our history, 1978, we start to produce 7.7 meter blades. And now, in the historical time frame, we are talking about 107 meter, which we start to design and produce in 2019. This is one of the biggest offshore blade size in the world. This is important. You can see our factories and service locations. Our headquarters is called in Denmark. And our factories is Brazil, Canada, China, India, Poland, France, Spain, USA, and Turkey. If you look at this slide, it's Turkey's location. Aegean Wind Power has also very high interest for MENA region. We are the closest area for MENA, which is sleeping right now, my point of view, and we will discuss maybe 2-3 years from now the potential in this region, and also all the potential future Danish suppliers. Also, I can give this tip to think about their strategies about this region on top of Turkish market. We have 13 blade factories and 13,000 people worldwide. We've since 1978, 2,041,000 blades produced for wind turbines. 251 million metric tons of carbon dioxide mitigated is one of the important KPI. And also in 2020, we produced 13,567 blades in our factories. Let's use the time more effective. I would like to come to Bergamo plant quickly. Foundation year is 2016 and startup year 2017. We are locating in İzmir, Bergamo, in İzmir city zone. We are 110 kilometers away from city center. 173,000 square meters. We have a total factory area, and we use 31,000 of them as a closed manufacturing area. Let's talk a little bit about success story. The first year, we have roughly 250-300 employees. Now we are talking about 800 employees in the plant, and 25% is female employees, which is the diversity is a key point for my company. Revenue is over 100 million at the moment, and total investment cost for Bergamo plant from Aegean Wind Power is 50 million. As OEM, I would like to talk a little bit in this section, what are our needs from the suppliers? I think it makes more sense for the participants to listen to OEMs, what we are working on, and also what is our next steps. As Sencer and Tuna mentioned, there is no question mark why LM is here. Because all the numbers shows that there is a huge potential, tremendous potential in wind energy market in Turkey. Specific for İzmir, all the OEMs, we are very close. For example, Ateş Çelik is 10 miles away from my plant, and we can have a very good communication and connection internally. And it makes sense for the business development, not company base, country base. Our key point is at the moment, we have some internal and external competitors, right, as Turkish market. For that reason, the localization for us is the key factor for our future development and future investment as OEMs. What I mean, because of the current conditions for logistic, for customs, tax from China, from India, they kill our business at the moment, for not just renewable energy, also for other businesses also affecting. For that reason, localization is key. What I mean about localization on top of this, quality, volume, and price. If we can combine 3 of these key factors together, we will have a more strong position in the world as a Turkish suppliers and OEMs. Innovative solutions is very important because we have handmade product. Skilled employees is very important. Innovative solutions means from suppliers, more productive OEMs line created more volume for the business. And our price will be more negotiable, right? Because we have to be more cheaper than the others, and then the other businesses will come to Turkey. We see our suppliers as a key partner for our future strategy and development for these reasons. Logistic, the aim is going to offshore, right? Everybody knows about this. And in Turkish, the harbors, Alsancak and Sencer mentioned, Alsancak other is very good for onshore, but for the offshore, all with the İzmir Development Agency and TÜREB, we are working the Chandarlı Harbor. I would like to give a green light in this call to everyone. If we open the Chandarlı Harbor, means we are eligible to ship offshore blades from Turkey around the world, everywhere. You can pick from the map, and we can ship the offshore blades with the better price to other countries. All these strategies, we have to be very careful to use the incentive packages from two countries, because as I know, Danish government has specific programs for Turkey, like Turkey and other countries. And Turkish government has also packaged, like Sencer mentioned, to the suppliers. The key points, we have to combine them together in a strategic way and get the benefit for all businesses. Because it's too complex. For example, I can give from my life, it's very hard to explain to outside the country our incentive packages. Please spend enough time to understand the details. One small detail makes big difference for the incentive package. And it takes time, to be honest. And Sencer, I think, will take an active role to explain these incentive packages to other suppliers. Other than, if you have any question, I'm very pleased to answer.
Emre Bey, thank you so much for this very valuable input from LM's point of view, which is very important. Now, I also want to give the floor to Ole from Resolux, that he can also present the company, and then I have a few more questions for both of you.
Definitely. Thank you.
And
yes,
yes, the floor is yours, Ole. Thank you so much.
thank you very much. I would like to share the screen. Do it fast here. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Resolux is a company who is the running supply chain for most of the tower builders, but also for the cell builders globally. We are focusing on both on onshore and offshore, because the future is going to be offshore. We are having a model where we run the supply chain. We do help the customers with engineering. We do the sourcing. We have some manufacturing, warehousing, distribution, and deliver to the plant. And we do a lot of follow-up with our customers to understand how we can be better, how we can make value in the supply chain. That's very important for us. Today, we are globally in USA, Brazil, Denmark, Belgium, Turkey, China, South Korea, and India. Turkey is our newest place that we started up. And the reason we did that is on behalf of the challenges we see in the wind industry. One of the challenges among a lot is our customers ask for supplying time. They don't want to have stock. They want the parts into the factories when they need it, and only what they need, not more. We are also facing a situation where capacity is going to be one of the key words in the future, with all the political eyes there is on the business, and all countries, so many countries in the world is now aiming for having wind as the main supply of clean energy. So capacity is going to be one of the key words in the future price pressure, as I heard from LM, and I hear it still in the business. What I saw that was very interesting was that wind energy in Turkey is the cheapest energy source today. That means, or I hope that the price pressure in the future will not be so hard as it has been over the last years, but for a good reason. Now wind energy is competitive on the global market. The other thing is local content, and one of the reasons we started up in Turkey was because of the IZKA project, where there was a demand on local content. Most of the other content we started up in was the same local content. Percentage of the turbine had to be produced locally, and the same we saw in Turkey. Quality is a keyword. Other people mentioned that. Then we have faced the Corona pandemic, which has how can I say, put some waves in the picture, and projects are delayed. We see a global transportation breakdown that makes it very, very difficult to have a sustainable supply chain. And we also see a consolidation in wind. That means that small, medium suppliers in the wind have to create strong muscles to follow the, I must say, only 5 big wind turbine suppliers globally, and therefore we need to do partnerships together to find the right way to act in the business. The reason we choose Turkey, and we choose Turkey, we started up a couple of years ago. One of them was to find a second supply chain. We have a big factory in China. We saw under the COVID-19 pandemic a lot of issues coming up. Factory was closed. We only have one supply chain. We do have factories in other places, but we need factories in areas with low salaries. And the other thing was that already in March we were called up by the OEMs asking us to find a second supply chain, so they were able to have the factories running. And at that time we were happy that we already have a place in Turkey. What we see in Turkey is high skilled workforce, very good education. We have low salaries, and that we are measuring the salaries in our factory globally, and today the salaries for 2 workers is by far the lowest in Turkey, and that has of course also to do with the weak currency, but still it's low. Then we see Turkey as a very interesting geographical position, because what we see is there's a lot of demand for wind energy in the surrounding areas in the Middle East, and also in the close east, meaning the old Russian colonies like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and these countries, which for Danish companies is quite difficult to reach. But Turkey is a very important partner in the area. So it gives us a platform to reach out to these countries close to, which is going to be interesting for us in the future. We also find a very good environment for foreign investment, as we heard from the people from Izmir. There's a lot of incentives that we can have. Unfortunately, we are not in Izmir, we are in Bursa, and we also have very happy people in Bursa, I must say. We have right now working on putting up a warehouse in the free zone with some production and some assembly of our parts. We hope to finish that over the next couple of months, which gives us a great access to the rest of the world, with some import from Asia, and then assembly and a cheap workforce, and then export out of the country. And one of the good stories is that we already have started export to our factory in Brazil on some parts. So it's easy and it's possible to start that up from Turkey. Another thing is that there's a very good access to the high-end sub-suppliers. That means all what we need of stuff for our assemblies and our production is easy to find in Turkey, and it's at high quality, which is very important for the business. If you look at how we did, we decided to make a joint venture that this company we have is owned 70% by us and 30% by a local partner who is also a supplier and have a good access to the local market, but also a very good access to all kinds of administration things, the government, and all this. So for us, it is a very easy way to work through this joint venture. One thing which is very important when we do that, having a partner, is transparency. We have to be very, very well defined in our strategy. We have to spend a lot of time on communication, how we do the strategy. We have weekly meetings with their board meetings with the people in Turkey. And we have in the organization also meeting on different levels, mostly on local sourcing, which is very important for us. We are handling about 5,000 different items for the wind business, and I think only 400 items is produced by ourselves. The rest is things that we need to be very competitive and also very agile and need to get things fast and put it easy on the market. And therefore we see Turkey as a very good place to do it. And then most of all, learning and understanding the Turkish culture for Danish people is important, because Turkish people are very kind and very nice. There's a lot of hospitality, but on the business side, it's important that we are very clear and very transparent in the way we make things, the way we discuss things, and the way we make decisions. That is more or less what I have to put into this conversation. So any question, please?
Ole, thank you so much. I think you both became the brand ambassador for Turkey, but at the same time you touched upon very important points, which like some cultural differences maybe, and the importance of communication, which is definitely key. And so we listened from Wind, an OEM, and Resolux with two different approaches in the Turkish market. So I want to both ask Ole and Emre that, Emre Bey, what would be your key messages for the newcomers? Of course, for that we mean the Danish companies, but what would be the key messages to give them to take care of? And so that would be my question to both of you. Thank you so much.
Ole, Mr. Ole, if you want, I can start.
Please start, Emre.
Okay. First of all, my first message, they are lucky. Why I mean this? Because 4 years ago, we had different challenges. But right now, we step forward 2 steps, 3 steps with the support of TÜREB. ENSİA, we didn't talk about ENSİA, but there is also ENSİA association in İzmir. We are working with İzmir Development Agency very closely, based for energy process, something like that. What I mean, they are lucky because we are more focusing at the moment strategic things. We finished the basic, my point of view. The second is, again, the incentive packages are the key, because if you make the business case, because all EMs or suppliers, before the decision, they make a business case. If you look at the business case, 2-3 times than their investments, they can get as an incentive or grant back from the government supports, included Danish government and Turkish government. This is the key message, that they have to work very carefully and pick the right one and on time. From cultural standpoint, yes, we have a different culture, but the OEMs and suppliers in İzmir region, we already started the culture, because as LM, we are in Bergama industrial zone. There's no other facility at the moment in the industrial zone. And 3 years, like last 3-4 years, we are working the people development, skilled employee force. And also we are working with the local authorities for university, for example, with NCA universities. We are talking for the people development, engineers and so on, and also high schools in Bergama to develop the current population for renewable energy. I think this is a huge benefit for next investments, next suppliers, and we can use these pool together. For that reason, I see a very low risk for the employment. 4 years ago, as I said, there was a different discussion, because before LM gave the strategic decision for Bergama, the biggest question mark was there is no industrial zone, there is no skilled employees, population, and so on. Now we change these mindsets as LM in this region, Bergama and neighbors. Those are my highlights.
Thank you
Emma.
so much, Ole. We can listen the answer from you. Thank you.
Yeah, I follow Emma because the Turkish system is for Danish people very complicated when you go to the administrative things. So therefore, it's very important to choose a good advisor, or as we did, a good partner to help us to figure that out. I tried to set up businesses in very exotic areas like Brazil, which is difficult. But what I saw here is that Turkish is built up in the same way with a lot of control and incentive from the government side. But it's for Danish people a jungle. It's a complicated system that needs expertise from local people. So partner up with local people or find very good advisor, and I can see that İZKA is supporting on that side as well. That is very important. And the other thing is on the culture side that I also mentioned in my presentation is that spend some time in Turkey, go out, have a drink on a bar together with your Turkish employees and understand their life, the way Turkish people are. Many years ago, I was so lucky. I was sailing around in the Mediterranean, and when you come from the West, the first country you meet is Spain, and then you meet Spanish people. They are nice. Then you go to Italy. Italian people is a little bit strange to Danish people. Then you go to Greece, and we found a lot of hospitality. And last but not least, we came to, in fact, it was İzmir, the port of İzmir, and we met Turkish people, and it was a totally different world of hospitality and people very helpful and everything. So that's one of the good things with Turkish people that you should also use in your commercial life, that Turkish people are very kind, and but they're also business people, and that is the good thing, that if you're able to communicate and talk the strategies, then you will have a very good possibility to have a company in Turkey.
I will jump in here, say that because I can see in the chat there is a question. What are the opinions about the local content regulations, which is announced last night? Will the decreases in yikdim prices affect the local production?
I think we can direct this question to Tuna Bey. Will that be okay, Tuna Bey?
Yes, of course. First, let me say that the Turkish Wind Energy Association had prepared an opinion to the draft legislation. And according to that legislation, what I see that it's, I mean, it is, let's say, nothing changed in the published one. So when we look at to the whole market, whole wind industry, once the local content amount increased, the investor and O&M side most probably has some negative effects on the financing part and the local manufacturing demand, let's say. But from the perspective of the equipment providers and subcontractors of that equipment providers, is going to be affected in a positive way. So that this is the on the shortest explanation I can give. But in coming days, we are going to prepare and publish another opinion on the published one. So people here can have the details from that opinion.
Thank you very much. I think the time is running in a good company, and I think it's time to start to wrap up, to maintain the time slot that we have given people. I don't know if you have a closing remark, Seda.
I will just thank everyone, all the participants. Wind is always one of my favorite sectors, and I like when I started this working on the wind like 15 years ago, there was nothing, and now we are one of the top 5 in Europe. And as the Trade Council of Denmark, we do believe that there is a lot of potential in the wind energy sector for the Danish companies. So please contact us. We just gave our contact details from the chat box. We are here to help you. As you see, we have an experienced team, and also the good contacts and network. Thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you, Seda. Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you to all your guests listening in. Any PowerPoint presentation that can be shared, Seda will send that out afterwards to the audience today. And then I hope that you have gotten something out of the last hour and a quarter here about the possibilities in Turkey. We look very much forward to see what the future brings to all of us. And with these words, I would just say thank you for now. Stay safe and have an enjoyable weekend. Thank you.
Thank you
all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.